Okay, guitar cats, we're back in action. I know I haven't been posting for a while, but here's some cats for you. They're so cute. That's Ginger and Patches. They're cute. We're down to three now. We used to have six cats. Now we got three. Those are two of them. Okay, so upgrading the glarry. I have a title for this video. I tried to shoot it a couple times, got too angry. I'm working on my anger and my health. We had some real health problems here. For the last 2 months been real sick, so we haven't been able to work on the guitars, but we did work on it a little. Now the bridge, I'm looking at it, I'm zooming in, it doesn't look exactly straight, right? At least the way it's lining up the pickguard, see, it looks a little angled down, so I might be able to tweak it. I still got one more screw to put in, and I can loosen up the screws too. Well, pretty much most of them were stripped. The old bridge is here, right? It had those barrels, horrible, but you can see some of them are missing screws because I had to use the longer screws here, right? And you see the way the intonation is set. You got 3 and 3 making a jump. These short screws, well, it's good on the first low E and maybe the A, but it's barely catching. And then on the D, it's not really hardly catching. So I got to cut the screws. Basically, these screws on the G string, you see it's too long. It's hitting the string. They're coming all the way to the front. Right, on the high E2, it's pushing it to the side there, pushing it to the side. Not really the way it should be. It should be more like that, right up the center. So I gotta cut some screws. I bought a rotary tool just for that. You can see I broke the pickup, plastic pickup. This 3-screw system to raise the height and lower the height, not a good system. They say it gives you different resonance and sound having the single coil wrapped in the bridge like that, whatever. I don't even know if it's making contact, so that's probably some crap. And yeah, I think I would upgrade this pickup. Doesn't sound great on its own. It's okay, and it kind of blends. You get some combinations with the humbucker. The humbucker sounds great. I think the humbucker sounds great. Of course, we know the rosewood is fake, but we're not doing a whole unboxing review. I've had this guitar for a while. We reviewed it. We talked about it. And now we're upgrading the glarry. So what do? We got a new fender bridge. These are real fender parts. They lined up pretty good. The screw holes almost aligned, and the neck through holes almost aligned. They're all hidden under the saddles right now, but trust me, I drilled them a little bigger, the string through holes, just because it was offset a little. And like I say, the bridge looks like it's on a slight angle. I don't care so much about the looks as much as the functionality. And what was happening is the high E string, I'm going to be right over it. Yeah, you see how it's kind of like right on those fret ends? It looks worse than it is actually at this angle. When I push down, where the hell are we? You see it's coming right over the edge of those frets. It's like a ramp. It wants to ramp over the side. Now this saddle on the end here, if you can see it, I tweaked it up. Right, it's doing a wheelie. To help keep the string on the fretboard. I don't like it pulling over, and it mainly happens here around the 10th, 8th through 12th fret. But yeah, that seemed to fix it. Also, we redid the nut slot. Can you see it? If it focuses in, it looks like I moved it a lot. But we refilled it in with some crazy glue and some baking soda, and then I recut the nut slot with the new tool that I made. Okay, so here's the tool, right? Feeler gauges from Harbor Freight, but you can get them automotive, made in China, right? This is a 9009. So that's the 9-gauge strings I'm using, 9 through 46. I use hybrid Ernie Balls. Right, but I cut these teeth to make this a saw. So now it's 9/10 or 9/100 of a whatever millimeter, right? The gauge of the string. So when I cut the nut slot, it's the exact width it needs to be. Now I could have put 10s. This way I could put 10s on this guitar, but I don't play 10s. I'm not going to put 10s on this guitar. So I cut it with a 9. Now it might be good to have a little angle, right? Where am I? Angle. Right, side to side, so you can get a little more play in there. But it's good, it's not buzzing. I cut it in seconds. I did that job in a matter of seconds. Unlike the bridge, which I've been messing with, and I still got to mess with. So I got to tweak it, get another screw. There's 3 screws in there now. I'm going to try to loosen it up and straighten it a little more. And then I don't know if I'm going to re-drill right, but I had to put some dowels and some glue, right, some little dowels here that I glued into the holes because they were stripped out. And but yeah, I mean, it's playing pretty good. The intonation's pretty good. We got to cut these screws down to get the intonation perfect. So that's what's up, man. Just a little quick glarry update upgrade. It was $20 for the Fender parts. None of them, the packaging, nothing does it say Fender. So it might not be Fender. This is the packaging. What did it say? Bridge Telly Upper Ping CHR, made in South Korea. Part number, blah, blah, blah. So maybe that's real Fender parts, but you would think it would say Fender somewhere on there. It doesn't say it on the bridge either. So it might be some BS parts, but these are supposedly Fender. And like I said, it does seem to line up pretty good for the most part, right? It's not like putting a 3-screw on a 4-screw or 4-hole or 3-hole retrofitting like that. So I didn't necessarily have to re-drill those holes, but they were stripped. And what else? So we're going to do that now. That should be a pretty quick, easy fix. And then we'll get this intonation dialed in perfectly. It plays pretty well. I sanded the back of the neck really nice, so it's pretty smooth. The hollow body's nice, man. It's sweet that you could pick it up and hear it and play without having to plug in. Man, I think I'm running out of content on this one, right? Unless you want to see me sit here and cut screws. I mean, I bought a Dremel. It's right there. Times are hard. We're having some financial crisis, being sick and out of work for 6 months, not having any tools. I'm trying to replace the tools, but we're out of funds here. So we got our number one fan who's been supporting us, and I'm toying with the idea of maybe starting a Patreon so we can get more support for the channel. I really like to do more in this realm and build the channel. It seems like it's, hard for me to go back to work as a chiropractor. Although I love it, I just don't think I can do it at that same pace anymore that I was doing it. So anyway, we want to transition into doing more guitar stuff. And we're probably going to get some gigs and, go out on the journey, see if we could make a living, if we can make some money actually doing this thing, going pro. All right. So that's the plan, is to go pro. But in the meantime, I'm here, Guitar Cats. We're just repairing these $100 guitars or less than $100 guitar. So now I'm into it for an extra 20. And then I'm probably going to replace that pickup, will be another 20 or 40. So that's 40, 50 bucks. A lot of elbow grease. So for an $85 guitar with 50 bucks upgrade parts, it's going to be pretty rad. I don't necessarily need to do electronics and split coil the humbucker. I don't really have a desire for that. I don't know if I need a single coil on the neck. I always wanted, it's more like I was lacking for humbucker in the neck, right? I want more sound, more bass there. So who knows? I could even reroute, but then I got to change the bridge again. But, it's like a telly. I'll keep it like a telly. I could get that quack or those bridge sounds, the single coil bridge sounds that you all love so much. I guess if I were to do electronic upgrades, I would do like a treble bleed on that, because that's how you country guys are. But I don't even play the friggin', I'll blend the two pickups. I had just recently bought some double humbucker guitars like Paul Reed Smith. I didn't get to play. I didn't even get to unbox it. It's in Pennsylvania. We might get it here. Maybe we'll do an unboxing. And the Mitchell, right? I dream about the Mitchell. We want to get those guys going. That's kind of a Gibson Les Paul style guitar, and pretty cool. It was a great guitar. A little bit that I played it. I need to do unboxing and playing more of that. So yeah, that's where we're at, Guitar Cats. You might see me begging for money on Patreon. If you want to donate to us now, you can. I have to give you my address. I guess you could send me a check, or I could give you a Bitcoin address and you could send me some Bitcoin. But anything is appreciated. Like I say, my number one fan, my number one subscriber, and my best friend in the whole world. All right, we'll call you out, Lisa. So far has made the first donation to Guitar Cat. She donated a tablet, which we're going to be using for lyrics real soon. In fact, maybe that's some project I could do today. If I bang out the intonation on this guitar, yeah, that'll be the next thing because I'm anxious to get back into a regular schedule and playing. And then who knows? Maybe get some gigs, maybe do some weddings and whatever. Honestly, at this angle, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's really driving me nuts that this bridge isn't a little bit straighter. Can you even tell? Yeah, look at the way it's touching the pickguard on the bottom and not on the top. I want it to move up to the top more, actually. So we'll see if we can adjust it. I'll be back on another video, and we'll see how it came out. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to work out pretty good here. And, so, is this a guitar for you? I mean, was it playable with these barrels? Not really. It was buzzing, and it did intonate pretty well, but the buzz and then it pulling over the side of the fretboard made it unplayable and no fun to play. So now with these saddles, I can tilt this saddle up and it seems to want to stay on the fretboard. So much more flexibility with these Strat style 6 individual saddles. Here I did have 6 individual, but they come over the side on the barrel, not through the center. And that's just a design problem. It's buzzing. Those things end up doing wheelies. You got to have the string through the center so the weight is balanced on both feet at the same time, like on these. And then, yeah, having the string come over the side, kind of lame. So, yeah, I mean, pretty good guitar. Maybe they'll change that, glarry, huh? And I'll be happy to review it if you change it. Yeah, so send me one. All right, people. I guess that's a wrap. Comment down below, share, like, do all that good stuff. All you guitar people, you get the gist of what I'm doing here. I'm going to be, I'm catering not to the rich, custom shop guys or whatever. This is for the beginners. This is for the gigging players, right? You don't want to take your $3,000 guitar out. So maybe, you're a pro and you can afford a $500 or $1,000 guitar, but you keep that one home, right? So you're going to bring the less than $500 guitar. The $300 guitar is the one you want at the gig for the drunks to break. And then that's this one. I mean, so far I'm in for about $105, right? So pretty good. Once we get it dialed in, I'll be able to say pretty good for $105. Pretty hard to beat unless you get maybe a Squire for $105. They sanded down these frets too much. But I think they're paying attention to smooth fretboard, right? Rolled edges, that kind of thing. But it's funny because I don't even have my diamond files, right? So I didn't come from the sides, and that's where it hooks up and catches you. So it's great because I sanded it down even more, which it probably didn't need, and made the problem worse, right? But then I realized it, and I was like, oh, they don't even have rounded fret ends. They got these ramps, and that's, creating it, making it worse. So you don't want to just take a 45-degree file, block and just go to town. I mean, you could do it a little, but you run the risk of the string coming off the side of the fretboard. And yeah, so I had to do some gymnastics just to keep it on there because that's annoying. You can't play like that. And then what else? Looking at some of these frets might be a little high. I might have to do some fret rocking on them and maybe some leveling. I don't even have a crowning tool. We're probably going to get the new crowning tool. We'll do a review on that. But in the meantime, I got more feeler gauges to make, right? More nut files to make out of feeler gauges. And so we'll be doing that too, although I don't know how much I'm going to film it. But yeah, these nuts are too high. The nut slots are a little too high. And so on that first fret or 2 frets, it's going a little sharp. Not the end of the world. It sounds okay. I didn't even notice it so much by ear, but when you pay attention, it's like, oh, now I notice it. And then it makes it harder to play, right? So we can get the action down lower. We're going to dial it in. It's good. It's in the range, right? So it's playing. I didn't even measure it, but I got one of those stupid cards. But I can just tell, right? You can tell. And it's funny because I used to think low, super low action, but I'm kind of a cowboy chord strummer. And so you don't want super low action when you're strumming, right? And letting those chords ring out a lot. It's going to buzz. So, you know, it's a combination between the two, right? And so I figure about 175 is pretty low. Lower than that, I'm not going to really be able to strum. So if this was a guitar I was just doing like leads on, like maybe that 24 fret Flying V that I converted into a Strandberg, you know, that might be more of a shredder guitar. And it's even made to have lower action, where this one I think is a little more just cheap, and you know, it's not as metalled out, where that BC Rich guitar is probably $300-400 guitar. I mean, they're coming out with the great designs for $85. You know, you're getting a lot of high-end features and you're getting some really good quality. That's the whole thing now. So, you know, people, you starters, you beginners, you intermediates, and you pros just getting out there, that's me. Right, I'm trying to break into being a pro, trying to get my lead on, maybe get my looper thing going, and we're going to try to nail some gigs. So, you know, if that's you, I'm kind of showing you what you need, right? Like I got my acoustic glarry, was about 60, $75 or something, with shipping even less, right? So cheap as hell, and it plugs in, but that's great for gigs, right? People are going to love that. That'll probably get more use than anything. This too, kind of nice, kind of acoustic, halfway. But we could probably bring amps and, you know, a little amp into coffee shops and cafes and bars. You know, I don't even know if I need my own PA. So we'll get into that. I've been eyeing some cheap systems, and I need something here to sing and practice through. So I can get starting at $60. One of these Bluetooth 12-inch speakers that comes with a cordless mic. All right, so not bad. Package, but it was on sale for $50 with the coupon, and so I was trying to get it for $50. I guess I'm holding out. We're that broke here at Guitar Cats, right? Like, so we got to liquidate our gold to keep the channel going. That's what's up. We got 2 subscribers, so if you like and share, maybe we'll be able to monetize in the next century. All right, so do it. Hook a brother up. I know all you famous guitarists out there got the power to blow me up, so go ahead and do it. You have my permission. Thank you in advance. We love you. What else? I'm going to wrap it. So that's it. We got the glarry. Maybe I should just wrap it with a shot of Patches. What do you say, Patches? Anything? Sleepy sleep? All right, that's it, Guitar Cats. Just mellow. We're on the mellow tip. See you on the next video.